welcome back to the Brunch Beauty Life podcast. I am your host, Connie.
And I'm Ashley.
Make sure you are following us below. Like, follow, subscribe. Make sure you share.
And comment too. We like seeing your comments as well.
And keep the emails coming.
Yes, because that's what we're discussing today. We're discussing an email that we received. Yes. And we love getting them, so please keep them coming.
Mm-hmm. So we got an email from Texas.
Okay.
From
Texas, hey.
We trying to get internationally known, y'all.
We'll start with the national.
Right. But that's crazy though. Like, side note, that's amazing. Like, we're here in Charlotte and someone out in Texas is following our show and they liking what we're talking about. So without delay. So with our email, the basic topic was, how do you handle enviness and authority in the workplace? So this stylist just recently, she said within the last 3 months, she got promoted to management.
Okay, well, congratulations.
She got promoted to management. She said she's been working in the salon for a year, and her coworkers are not taking well to her being chosen for management. Mm-hmm. She said that a lot of the coworkers has been there for quite some time. Like, some have been there longer than her, and then some have been there at a shorter amount of time as her. And she said maybe like one other girl came in at the same time. So she said that the people that are more seasoned, that's been there longer than her, are having like a problem, taking authority from her. And then the people that have been there around the same amount of time or less, she said, used to be all fun and games when, she come in, hey, all the friendliness. And now it's like, hey, and like attitudes. And she said one girl that still works in the salon said that a lot of people, I guess, have a problem that she got chosen for management over, I guess, some of the other ladies. And she's just wanting to know, how do we deal with that? Or have we experienced it? Which, yes, we have. And just some advice to how she can handle that.
Well, I would say you're just doing a great job. You are the best. And there's nothing wrong with being the best. Mm-hmm. Some people can't take it. Some people can't handle it. But that just sucks for them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's not my whole...
I was going to say on a lighter note.
That's not my whole advice. That's just a little, snaps right there, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. No, it's common. That does happen. And that happens in more than just the hair industry, but definitely seen it in another industry as well as in the hair industry. Mm-hmm. I've always been one that's like kind of strive to, do my best. Mm-hmm. And if I'm rewarded in that, that's great.
Right.
If I'm not, then okay. But at least I know I've done my best. And for the most part, I've been rewarded. Mm-hmm. And that comes with the territory. Enviness does exist, and I have definitely seen it in the salon setting. Mm-hmm. It's cutthroat in these streets.
That she has.
So, I just feel that what you could do is, try to, engage the upper level of management, the owners of the salon, and see what they have as far as suggestions to be able to kind of talk to the team and kind of go through, what the selection process was for them to pick her. Of course, if she was chosen, that means she stands out. So there's nothing that you can do per se if that's what you're doing. If you're standing out from doing your best, no one's going to ask you to dim your light, right? But reaching out to upper levels of management to just see, okay, what can we do to kind of ease the tension or see how we can have the conversation so that everyone's clear and that, maybe having them take a look at themselves.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Speaking from rising in management at the salons and why I've gotten chosen, I've always demonstrated the qualities that they were looking for management. Obviously, that's one. And even when dealing with people that didn't like that, I keep it professional. I come to work, and if this is what I'm instructed to do by my boss that put me in a place of leadership, then I'm going to follow out those orders. I know now, speaking from salon owner, when we've made decisions to move people up in management, every single time, for the most part, we experience that where the temperature starts to change. But
Yes.
I know as an owner, whenever we are looking for management, we put it out there to everyone. We let people know, first and foremost, if you're interested in management, let us know.
Yeah.
So if you didn't speak up, then that could be overlooked, because sometimes people don't want the responsibility of management. It's not just about, oh, you do a good job. There are some people that may be in management and another stylist work might be phenomenal and look better than the person that's in management.
Mm-hmm.
Management comes into being there.
Yep.
You know, like, are you a stylist that's there day in, day out, or that you're willing to show up even when you don't have clients? How can you become a manager if you're never there? Or you feel like you only need to show up when you have clientele, you know?
And because you never said that explicitly to me when we were having to stay. So basically, you got a key when you got promoted past your 90 days, and just whatever they saw that made you feel like they could trust you and trustworthy. So you guys, in that policy, if the stylist is there late with a client, you are to stay because they don't have a key, so you have to close up. Now there are certain people that will stay and be there but just watch the stylist, or just be in the back and not paying the stylist any attention to give them help or anything like that. I took it upon myself to make sure that I was available to help the stylist, that I'm listening.
And this was before management?
Well, this was like before management, when I just had my key, just to be able to help, because, they might need help, or just listening out to see what they're saying to the client. If the client had something to say versus what they had to say, just really trying to see how I can be in there to help ease the situation, because that's what I saw you and Tika do. And so I was really there to support. But again, that's a difference between certain people. So you have to recognize that some people, they want those titles, but they don't want to do all the work that it is to get into those titles.
To get the title.
To get the title means that you're doing outside work other than what was explicitly detailed.
You're acting in that role before you become that role.
Yeah, because you just said, be here, to lock up and put on the alarm. You didn't say to be out here on the floor and watch them and listen and be able to help and be of support. Or even during that time, if I saw that the stylist was okay, then I would go and do other tasks. I would go and do barbicide. I would do clips. I would do towels, things like that. Well, but literally there would be people that were staying with the stylist that they just sat in the break room. And it was like, those are things that you could have done during that time. So again, noticing the differences between yourself and the other person. So I know it's hard to not feel that sting, because it is hurtful when they were cool with you before, and now it's like,
right.
You come in, like we said on the episode, good morning, good morning, good morning,
Right.
So that is hard. But you also have to keep in perspective that the work that you did to
Absolutely.
get there, whether it was intentional or not. So
yeah, and I think as far as the authority part, right? Definitely getting management, like whether you have another manager or the owners to back you up. So I know there's been plenty of times when we would have our monthly salon meetings, because we do believe in monthly salon meetings, that we would have the manager that we appointed, we would have the manager lead the meeting. Like we had to kind of take a step back to allow the manager to lead the meeting. So that way they know, like, oh, she's in charge.
yes, and she's part of the in charge team.
Right, exactly.
And you guys also made it clear to tell the team, hey,
she's in charge.
she's in charge. So if we're not here, this is the next point of contact. She is in charge. And if she says this, then this is how it is. And, they have no choice but to fall in line, but never, be disrespectful. Don't abuse your power.
Right. Yeah. That part.
and don't abuse your position, but always be fair and be above board, because at that point, unfortunately, you won't have to be above board. You're going to have to be a couple steps ahead of them on how you react and how you engage with them to make sure that everything is on the up and up for your end. It's unfortunate, it hurts, it's annoying, but it exists, and all you can do is continue to do your best.
This reminds me of a time when I was in Virginia. I wasn't a manager, right? But our boss, looked at me and saw that I knew how to control the floor. And I remember, and before this came about, I was actually a manager in a fast food restaurant. So, she saw the qualities and the characteristics. Yes. And I would never forget she was going out of town. And so when she went out of town, she let everybody know, like, hey, Connie's in charge. And she's gone. She's on vacation. When the boss lady go on vacation, that means do not call.
Exactly.
Do not call. Do not text. She is on vacation. Let her be at peace. Unless the shop is burning down.
Yeah, I was saying that in my head. Unless it's burning.
What can she do? She's out of town. And we was working, it had to be a Saturday. And one of the stylists, I noticed she was doing some micro braids. And I know she was just moving very, very slow, slower than usual. And it's like, something ain't right with her. So, I went, talked to the stylist. I'm like, hey, what's wrong? And she was like, I'm sick. I'm not feeling good. And it's like, okay, get back to work, but we're going to figure this out. And her client, I let the client know, like, hey, your stylist isn't feeling well, so the service might take a little bit longer. Is that okay? All of us plan to, jump in, help out in between our own clients. And the client was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Meanwhile, the other stylist that did not respect me in that role was calling the boss lady. She's sick and da-da-da-da-da and blah, blah, blah. And, I know that got underneath my boss lady's skin, because it's like, well, again, what can she do? She's hours and states away. And I will not forget when she got back, me and the girl, we had our words, and maybe about a week later, she was out the door. Because at the end of the day, if you can't respect your own boss, right, then you have no room in the salon. If you cannot respect the level of leadership, you have no place in the salon.
Absolutely.
And just the fact that she backed me, that meant a lot to me. And that let me know, like, okay, she trusts my judgment. She has my back. For the most part, I can lead as I was appointed to.
Yeah. And what a lot of people fail to realize is, the game, like they talk about Chiefs and Indians. And everybody want to be a chief, but it's okay to have Indians. It is. It's okay to be an Indian.
I actually have another suggestion too. Team building. Now, I've seen this with one of our other salon managers because she was struggling. She was struggling with getting that respect, that level of respect, even with us backing her. And it was a couple of things that we had to work with her one-on-one, because she always questioned herself. And if let's say you're questioning yourself, that might show like weakness or whatnot. So you need to be sure of your decisions, even if you have to kind of talk it out before with the boss to kind of figure out, like, is this the route to go? Being sure. But what she also did, before we say what she did, what we also learned was she was trying to still be their friends. And sometimes you have to get in there and you have to make those separations.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't mature enough to be able to separate the friendship from your level of management, then you have to find a way to separate it. But what she did was she took the team out on her own. She didn't even consult with us. We found out about it later when we saw the pictures on social media. But she invited the whole staff out to a team building exercise. And after that, like, it was a significant change in the salon, like very different. So maybe that might be something, a suggestion, a team building exercise.
Yes. And also I would suggest getting a mentor as well, because that person is my mentee.
You're so silly.
Yes, I have regular mentoring sessions with her. So that's someone that can help bounce ideas and bounce things off to help you and guide you in that role so that you don't forget to still, put your best foot forward. But get a mentor and just continue to work with the upper levels of management. But just make sure that you're staying on the right path.
And as far as like enviness, that's definitely something for like the owners or high level of management to really come together and nip that in the bud. There's enough out here for everybody, and if everybody understands what they can potentially do to be next in leadership, maybe instead of like taking it as a negative, you take it as a positive, like positive constructive criticism, like, okay, what can I do better next time so that I can be looked at for management?
So I have a question on that because when you talk about enviness, that's something that's within that person. So how can you kind of get the other stylists out of the envy phase? Like, is that, maybe having like a review session with each person and kind of tell them where they stand or why they weren't? Because I'm just going to be honest, because I went through it. The people who were complaining never said anything.
Okay.
To y'all. Like, they were just like, I don't know why, and da 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 da. They never even came to you and said that they were thinking that they were wanting to be a leader. Like, they never did any of that. But they were the ones in the background with the chirp, chirp, chirp.
Okay. So
being birds in the broke room.
Okay. So I have a story where we had announced a particular stylist as leadership, and immediately once we did that, you could feel the temperature change in the room. And we already knew, who it was coming from and potentially why it was coming from that person. And shortly after, we always have an open door policy. And we invite anyone to come in, because sometimes it's not comfortable to say it on the floor. Maybe you don't have the words, or maybe you're not in a situation where you can control your emotions in that moment. So we always invite people, hey, come see us one-on-one. So after a few days, the stylist had a meeting with my partner and I, and she broke down, and she was like, I don't understand why I didn't get picked as management, why her, and blah, 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 and, all of that. And, after we gave her a tissue, she wiped her tears. We talked, and we was like, listen, we've been having one-on-ones, because we do one-on-ones with everybody. First of all, everybody goes through a review period, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and then on an as-needed basis after that. And we was like, hey, we told you this is what we needed to see from you, and we haven't seen those things. This is what we need, and this is what we're looking for. And when we say the next day, and from here on out, she just changed, and she was on it. Like, she was there more. She wasn't just leaving because she didn't have any clients or her day ended at 12 o'clock. She wasn't leaving early anymore. She made a consistent effort, even to the newly appointed manager, to say, hey, do you need anything? How can I help? How can I be assistance of you? That manager came back and told us the improvement that she saw in this stylist, because we're not there all the time to actually see it. So when it came back around, she grew into management. She became the next salon manager. And now, fast forward, she has her own salon suite. So, you have to be able to take each moment as a learning moment. Some people let it just hurt them to the core, and then they might quit. Like, I'm going to go find a new salon to work at. But you can do that. But then you're still going to be in the same situation because you didn't learn what you could have learned from that moment.
So I guess mainly that advice is for the people who are envious. Don't be in envy in silence. Say something, speak up, advocate for yourself, and take a look in the mirror and see what you can do.
And for those that don't like to recognize it as being envy or like jealous or whatnot, if you feel some type of way, there's something there, whatever you want to call it. If you feel some type of way, acknowledge that you feel some type of way and figure out why do you feel that type of way, and then talk about it. Because a lot of people are, I ain't jealous of her. I mean, what I got to be jealous for, you know? All of that.
Yes.
So for those that don't like to put a title on it, just recognize that.
Yeah, so we wish you the very best in this situation.
Yes.
It's not a fun one to be in at all.
Yes, and if you have specifics, because the email, it was kind of really just short and straight to the point, like how do you deal with this? If you have like specifics, then that could kind of help us really tap into like more of what you can do. But the best advice as far as how to deal with it is get upper management or the owners, however the salon is set up, get those people involved. Because once those people get involved, one is going to teach you how to be a better manager, because maybe it could be something that you are doing, possibly, that could be off-putting to the other stylists. So, that might be a way that you can grow as a well-rounded manager. Because not everybody is perfect, Not everybody is perfect. There's always room to grow. Just because you made it to management doesn't mean like, I'm the sugar honey iced tea and I got this and boom, boom, boom. No, there's still ways to grow in management.
I definitely made sure to work constantly on my delivery because to be right, but I'm pretty direct and my intent is not to hurt, but I can't control how you hear it. Sure. So I had to work on my delivery.
And then too, if a person is already feeling some type of way, it don't matter what your delivery is. If they already feeling some type of way, whatever you're trying to deliver to them may not be received the way that you intended because they already feel some type of way.
Yeah, because that's what I did one time when I did have an issue with the stylist. And I was just like, I don't know what her issue is. I can tell she has an issue with me. And so maybe we should have a meeting because, maybe it's something I said that may have offended her or how I said it. And I just want to know so that I don't do it and that we can move forward. And so we got together and had a meeting with that person. They didn't ever admit anything. But it's the fact that I took the initiative. So, again, to the new manager, take the initiative. I didn't just sit around and continue to let it kind of go on and let it fester. I was like,
that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I just want to have a conversation, see if we can all have a meeting because I notice these things and it's uncomfortable. And maybe it's me. Maybe I said something a certain way or, because I know that's something that I work on. So I own my own flaw. And let's see if we can have a meeting to see what it is. And upper management heard me. And they did. So, don't just be a passenger in your experience either. Take the wheel.
Take the wheel.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I love it. Let me just say I'm so thankful for these emails. We got so many more emails that have been coming in, so I can't wait to actually get in there and cipher through and answer. I would like to say we'll promise to answer each and every one, but within this season, we will answer a good majority of them. And then as we go into next season, we'll see how we plan to incorporate the other letters as well. So definitely keep it coming. Make sure you are liking, following, sharing, subscribing, sending in emails, and commenting.
Yes. And also for privacy, we will not say names. Yeah. And also identifying things we're not going to post email. Just to, keep people's stuff anonymous and private. We want you to feel comfortable to, your secrets are safe with us.
Yeah.
But make sure you do all the things that Connie said, and we shall see you the next time. Also, I'm wearing my New Me wrap.
Your what?
My New Me wrap.
New Me? Okay.
It's from Sasha, Unique Kinks, stylist in my salon. It's available there.
Hey.
And it's in a fall color, so we're going into fall.
I know. I was actually looking at your outfit. I know this is like side note, but I was looking, I'm saying, okay, I like how this is, coming together, the rustic feel.
Yes,
I know you can't see, but, I got my little rustic colors on my nails.
Yes, I have a nice little fall color, too.
But anywho.
So we see you guys the next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, see you later.
Bye.